Babies are some of the most amazing and beautiful creations on this earth. They are programmed to capture our attention. Their inner workings are deceivingly complex, and they hold the future in their tiny hands. Unfortunately, they don't come with operating instructions. And for many people, the first time they ever hold a baby is when they have one of their own. The RealCare Parenting Program from Realityworks features a computerized infant simulator designed to look, feel, sound, and behave like a real baby. Some have called it revolutionary, even life-changing. We simply call it Baby.
The baby needed constant care and is just way more than I could have expected, because you're up literally all night rocking it and feeding it.
And like 5 minutes later, it'll get hungry again, so I had to feed it again. And I was like, goodness, I just fed you like 5 minutes ago.
A lot of kids were just looking at me all weird and stuff, like, what is that kid doing with a baby? Because some people looked like they actually thought it was real, but it wasn't.
When I was walking home, some lady stopped me and she was like, oh, and just changed her face, and she was a bit confused about what was going on with the doll.
I expected it to be hard because my mom did daycare for 16 years, so I knew what it was about, but the waking up part, I couldn't do it. That was really hard for me to wake up in the middle of the night and take care of a baby.
I really have never taken care of a baby before, so it was like really good at the beginning. You have to like spend a lot of time with the baby, and at night it wakes you up like a lot, and he's like tired, but I think it's a good experience.
My mom said that I used to cry all the time when I was little, just like that baby, and that now I'm getting to see how it was.
I couldn't do my school activities because I had to care for the baby. It was a little frustrating.
When he wanted to just be rocked, it was more like a softer cry, and so you had to just rock him. And then, I don't know, at night I figured out with sleeping at night and stuff, and with the baby always waking me up, I figured out what to do, where to have the bottle, if he needs to be changed, or if I need to hold him.
Like sometimes she'd start crying and I wouldn't know why, and I'd get really frustrated and be like, why are you crying? And I think that's what made the real babies, or these babies, like real, or seem real.
The RealCare Parenting Program, from the creators of the award-winning Baby Think It Over. One baby that can change the world.
My relationship with Baby started with my own babies. Our son with colic, no one slept through the night for 11 months. Our daughter with a scream that could peel paint off the wall. They were the inspiration for this.
The RealCare Parenting Program is the result of many years of research and development, technical improvements based on instructor feedback, and a desire to give young people around the world an experience they can draw upon for a lifetime.
The design we've got now is really the result of a very lengthy partnership with our customers. It was the interaction with them in the early years that really got us on the right track to what the baby needed to become. Because hearing from them, when they would talk about their students and they tell me stories about the impact that baby had, it got real, it got personal. It got to feel like much more of a mission and less of a technical challenge, I think.
The goal would be to, number one, help students to make really good decisions around sexual activity and to understand what the consequences are, but also to teach students the skills that they need to be a good parent.
I feel that by having the babies into this curriculum reinforces parental care, child development, and the actual responsibilities of being a parent.
The babies are designed to give young people an experience of what it's like to be a parent. All the young people that I work with, we have work experience. We give them an opportunity to see what it's like to be in the real world. We have driving lessons to give you an experience of what it's like to be a driver. We don't get a chance to test drive being a parent unless we have the RealCare babies, and that's where the young people here, especially in the school, get a wonderful opportunity to test drive being a parent and then maybe learn that they're not ready to be a parent yet.
When dealing with Baby, the young person is completely responsible on their own, and so they are put in a position where if the baby's crying at 3 in the morning, they have to get up and handle that child, or the baby. They have to deal with the crying and figure out what's wrong. Is it the diaper? Is the baby just fussy? All of those things. So I think that this experience really gives youth an opportunity to have almost ownership, if you will, and a real-time experience of caring for what would be an infant.
This gives them the knowledge of how demanding a baby is, how they can't think of anything other than the baby. They have to remember the baby and the bottle and the nappy and everything other than just themselves, because girls of 14 and 15 are only used to thinking of themselves.
So baby kind of gives them the real deal, you know, the real deal about what it's like to be a parent. And most of the kids, once they've taken the baby home, realize that they're not ready to do this yet. So it fits into our curriculum very, very well.
I think at the school site, when you see the reactions of the students and the parents and even the community getting involved in liking this project, as an administrator, you just want to continue it. It is technology, and we're always trying to incorporate more things to do and to get into that technology age with our students. It's a great program.
RealCare Baby is larger than just a classroom lesson. It's about teaching respect, responsibility, and positive decision making.
Eso es lo que queremos que ellos
What we want them to see is that having a baby is a big responsibility, and that at this time in their lives, it's a time to study, it's a time to advance. Because if they become pregnant now as a teenager, all of their expectations to study and to do well would be frustrated.
Our goal is not to scare them into not being parents, but to give them realistic information to make their decisions on.
The infant simulator uses electronic sensors, wireless technology, and computerized care schedules to create a true-to-life experience with measurable results.
I had been doing a similar project with my students using bags of potatoes, and other teachers had been using eggs or bags of sugar or bags of flour, and so this made it a little bit more real, or a lot more real.
The sack of flour didn't wake them up in the middle of the night. They could put it on a shelf and forget about it until they came to school the next morning and bring it with them.
The sack of flour is just a sack of flour, and a baby gives a lot of relevant, real, practical strategies for them to deal with, that they might have to deal with in a real teen pregnancy situation.
Baby is heavy. I think the baby crying is shrill and just, I mean, baby as a unit is very effective in my opinion, because it's not the same thing as carrying around a doll.
Well, I had the baby at home. I asked my husband to hold it while I did the burping mode, and we were both laughing at just how realistic it was.
The whole thing with the carriage, buckling him into the car seat, from the baby bottle to the diaper, just everything was so real.
The features that are just very realistic are the head neck support feature, the changing of the diaper feature, the bottle feeding and the sound that goes along with that, and then the crying. They actually know their baby's cries by the end of the weekend. They're so good at it that they pick up all these skills that are really needed in real life through an infant simulator baby.
And the babies also make you realise that you've got to respond to their needs very quickly. Because the way the electronics works, these babies talk to you and they tell you when they weren't cared for.
The baby also has some rewards built in. When you feed the baby and you've started to feed the baby within 2 minutes and you continue feeding the whole time the baby needs to be fed, you get a coo at the end. And so that's a physical reward that's built in. If you happen to drop the baby's head back, not support the head while you were feeding the baby, you're not getting the coo at the end. Punishment's built in as well.
If you shake the baby, it will show up, and there is always the teachable moment is tied into everything with this simulator.
The technology is wonderful. It records the total minutes crying time. I also like the programmability. We have many, many active athletes, musicians, dancers, and being able to control that is just great.
And so the teacher, knowing it ahead of time, can program the baby not to cry during the hours of the athletic event or church.
The schedules are based on the diaries of 15 parents who kept a 24-hour diary of what their baby of a certain age did. And so these schedules that we're using, that the young people are using, are real babies, which actually makes you think, because some babies are babies from hell and some babies are really nice, which is just like real life.
I like the fact that I can control how fussy the baby is. You can put the baby in easy, medium, or very fussy. And I use very fussy. I don't mess around.
When the student brings the baby back to school on Monday morning, the teacher can download the chip. And she gets on it then a printout of a complete list of the care that the baby got, if it were cared for in a timely manner, or if it were ignored, or possibly abused.
When they see this printout, they don't contest it. It can tell them exactly the time the baby needed to be fed and whether they did or they didn't. Every time they picked it up, did they support the head or they didn't. And so it's very visual for them, and it's very real.
You have to burp the baby. If you hit the baby too hard while you're burping the baby, you end up with an abuse showing up on the computer printout. So it helps them to work on some of their parenting skills as far as physically taking care of the baby.
The best story that I often tell is the parent questionnaire that we got back to Life Choice, which is on a frame in the wall in our office. The parent comment was, "We took this weekend very seriously. We found ourselves outside our house in the pouring rain at 10 o'clock on Sunday evening smoking. Our daughter would not let us smoke around the virtual baby."
The RealCare Parenting Program from Realityworks touches the future by providing meaningful experiences today. Together, we can ensure that more babies come into the world to parents who are ready to care for them properly. One baby can change the world, and we can change the world one child at a time.
You know, when I have somebody, like for instance a court-appointed child advocate, say that we use this product with a young mother who we knew could not care for her child, and the child was in danger. And as a result of this experience, we were able to demonstrate to the judge that she wasn't able to care for that child, and I know we saved that child's life. I've had people say things like that to me, and it just has an incredible impact.
We couldn't be doing this without the teachers. We're providing them with the tools. They are sculpting the future.
Children learn in different ways. They learn from reading, they learn from listening, but a lot of children now learn better from practical hands-on experience. And this product allows students to incorporate a lot of different disciplines practically, and that has to be a very positive thing to introduce into the classroom.
I can't think of a job that's more important than raising our children. It's not something that you are born with, these skills. It doesn't happen just when you give birth, that you all of a sudden have these skills.
This is a program I wish I could give to everyone. Every kid between the ages of 13 and 18 should have this experience.
I just hope that every school and every student has the opportunity to have this program in place, and that they do get to experience it, because it is a life-changing experience.
Our youth need us. They need us to provide these opportunities and experiences for them. They need us to be there for them, and they need us to do this for them so that they can succeed.
If I could, we'd wrap that up in a big package and give it to every kid that I could find.